Hello Year 7 and welcome to another video lesson. Today we're going to be looking at multiples, factors, the lowest common multiple or LCM and the highest common factor or HCF. Now these are all new terms and they are often confused with one another, so it's important that we have ways of understanding what each term means and how to use it properly. Okay, so firstly, a multiple is all the other numbers that a number can multiply into. Okay, so let's write that down. All other numbers that a number can multiply into. So a multiple, therefore, is always equal to or bigger than the number. Okay, for example, okay, if you have a number 2, you can consider 2 as a multiple because it can be multiplied by 1. You can consider 4 as a multiple because you can multiply 2 by 2. You can consider 6 as a multiple. All the numbers that are bigger than the original number that number can multiply into. So let's write always equal or bigger. Okay. A factor, on the other hand, is the other numbers that can divide a number evenly. So the other numbers that can divide a number evenly. Okay, so for the number 4, you can consider 4 a number that divides 4 evenly. You can consider 2 a number that divides 4 evenly. You can consider 1 a number that divides 4 evenly. So factors are always equal or smaller than that number. Okay, so to divide a number evenly, that number that you're dividing by has to be smaller than the original number or equal to. Okay, 2 more terms that we need to know. The lowest common multiple, or the LCM, is simply just the smallest number that is a multiple of 2 other numbers. So the lowest common multiple, the smallest number that is a multiple of 2 other numbers. Okay, which means that the other numbers need to be able to multiply to equal that number. Okay, the highest common factor is just the biggest number that is a factor of 2 other numbers. So the biggest number that is a factor of 2 other numbers. Okay, so to find the highest common factor, you need to find all the factors of one of those numbers, find the factors of the other number, and see which is the biggest number that is a factor of both. Okay, we're going to do some example questions where we find both multiples, we find factors, we find the lowest common multiple, we find the highest common factor. Let's look at this first example here, just looking at multiples. Okay, so part A, we need to find the first 12 multiples of 6. So remember, multiples are equal to or bigger than the original number, and they've got to be numbers that number can multiply into. So the first multiple is always going to be 6 itself, and then 12, we can multiply 6 by 2, and we can just go up using our times tables. So we get to 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, just adding 6 each time, 54, 60, 66, 72. There are our first 12 multiples of 6. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for 5. Write the first 12 multiples of 5. So the first one is 5. And then remember, multiples are always bigger. We just multiply up by each number. So we're going to get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And there are our first 12 multiples of 5. Okay, for part C here, we're going to list the common multiples between these two numbers here. So let's see, as we go along, which are the numbers that the multiples of 6 and the multiples of 5 have in common. So let's see here. I can see 30 is common to both of them. Okay, let's see, 40, 42, 45, 50, and the other one that I can see is 60. Okay, so the two common multiples are 30 and 60 from the list that we have got there. Okay, part D, then what is the lowest common multiple of 6 and 5? It's going to be the smallest number that's a multiple of both. So the LCM is going to be the smallest number, that is 30. That's common to both of them. Okay, and that's how we find the lowest common multiple. Let's have a go at finding factors and the highest common factor. So writing the factors, 27. Now, what we need to do here is find the numbers that will divide 27 evenly. Now, these will often come in pairs because you divide one number by another number to get another number. So you're going to end up with factors that work in pairs. So 1 is always going to be a factor because you can always divide a whole number by 1 evenly. And it's going to have a pair of 27. Okay, if you divide 27 by 1, you get 27. If you divide 27 by 27, you get 1. You can see how those are factor pairs. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to write 1, but then I'm going to write 27 sort of at the end, and I'm going to leave space for other factors in between. So I'm going to write 27 here, and I can write a comma. I'm going to find another factor pair now. So if I use 2, can 2 divide 27 evenly? 2 cannot divide, so it's not a factor. Let's try 3. 3 can divide 27 evenly, so we can write 3 here. And what's its factor pair going to be? 27 divided by 3 is going to be 9. Okay, and then now we just need to check, are there any other factors that we've forgotten? Okay, 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6 doesn't work, 7 doesn't work, 8 doesn't work. So we're up to 9. That means we've found all of the factors that we possibly can. So we can just leave that gap there. It's okay to leave that gap. It's better to have more space than less space. You don't want to be running out of room. Okay, part B. List all the factors of 36. So I'm going to do the same thing. 1, I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to write 36 there. Okay, let's try 2. 2 can go into 36, so you're going to get a factor pair of 2 and 18. When you divide 36 by 2, you get 18. Let's try 3. Does 3 work? 3 does work. Divide 36 by 3, you get 12. Does 4 work? So you can do 4 and 9. I'm starting to run out of space. 5 does not work. 6 works. And what's the pair with 6? Oh, it's 6 as well. So we know that we've therefore found all of the factors. So you can see 36 has a lot more factors than 27 does. Okay, now we're going to find the common factors. So circle all the ones that are the same. So 1, 3, 9. Any other ones? Doesn't look like it. And now let's write these out. 1, 3, and 9. And to find the highest common factor, we just find the biggest number that is a factor of both of the other numbers, which in this case, the HCF is 9. Okay, so this is one method of finding higher HCFs and LCMs. You'll be pleased to know that there is another way that is a little quicker, or it's quicker for harder examples. So we'll be learning that in a future lesson. But in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video, and good luck with those practice questions. Remember, use the Microsoft Teams group chat if you have any questions. See you later.